This is Cynthia Ortiz. It is February 10th, 2022. That is an envelope that came from the state of Oklahoma, and it wasn't sealed. As you can see, I have a protected address via the Attorney General's office, and the defendants were recorded this morning. We told them just not to seal it. Maybe that'll fall out. So it wasn't sealed, and I guess it did fall out. So let's play it again. This envelope wasn't sealed, coming from the state, from my protected address, the Attorney General's office. Not even sealed. Look at that. It's not licked. It wasn't sealed, so whatever was in it fell out. I think that was kind of the plan. It is February 10th, 2022. This is Cynthia Ortiz. Okay, so last night Mr. Perry doesn't understand how this works. There's a cause and effect. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you touch a hot stove, you get burned. I have help. I have police protecting me, Mr. Perry. He's been under investigation for a long period of time for sexual exploitation of women and children, violation of their human rights. He enjoys starvation, torment, and torture of women and little children, and he ruins their lives and enjoys it. He gets a sick, weird thrill. He's a sexual sadist, our witness tells us, and we've not seen him even try to prove that wrong. And so he gets told on when he messes with me, when he peeps, hacks, contacts me in any form at all, and he's got some really bizarre methods of contact, like things that no normal person would even be able to think up if they tried, much less do. It's very embarrassing. Very, very, very flippin' embarrassing that he could even think that shit up. And we have a witness that says Mr. Perry trolls women, puts hidden cameras in their home, broadcasts them on the dark web, and sells watch time. He excuse me, my allergies are messed up today. He causes them to lose their job. He hacks them. He's peeping on them. He's watching everything they do. He's causing them to lose their job. And they make sure they can't get another job. Then he likes to see women get hysterical, and he'll go, and I'm quoting, go rub one out. It's a sexual dysfunction, and it's crime causation, and it's sick, and he's about to go to prison, and he's not getting that. We're not getting these recordings, Mr. Perry, to play at a party for entertainment. They're in court, sir. So he got caught again. Every time he messes with me, he gets caught more than ever in his life, and he's just not putting that together. He's just not putting the cause and effect. What the cause is, you touch a hot stove. The effect is you get burned. The cause is when you mess with me, when you invade my privacy, when you cause a problem for me, when you cause a hardship for me. The longer Mike Neely's in jail for something you did, the longer I'm broke because you're taking my money. You like stealing things that don't belong to you. The more problems you cause for me in court, sir, and on and on and on. The more you bother me, the result of that is, Mr. Perry, you get told on. My guys get pissed off at you. They love me. They want me to be happy. They want me to have a good life. I deserve a good life. You're fucking everything up. You are creating one obstacle after another because you can't keep up with everybody else. Our witness says he has the landlord, the maintenance guy, or a locksmith break him into the home. He puts hidden cameras in and uses these women's and their children's bodies against their will, without their consent, for profit and for entertaining. He gets entertainment out of it. It's not free, Mr. Perry. You're going to pay. You're going to pay the people that you've hurt. I know you don't think so. I know you're off your nut weird. I know you're delusional as they come. I know you enjoy sitting around bullshitting yourself all day. But then you ask me, you're always asking the question, who told on me? Well, the question in and of itself represents the fact that you know you did something wrong you didn't want told. So the prosecutor tells me, do you consent to Mr. Perry putting cameras in your house? I said, of course not. How gross. That is the biggest violation, the nastiest thing a person could do to a woman. And of course, whatever time my children were in the home. And that is child pornography, Mr. Perry. You're one sick son of a bitch. He goes, do you expect payment if he's being entertained against your will illegally? Or making a profit, or both? Absolutely not. Then you need to make sure he understands that, because I cannot have him asserting a criminal defense that you consented and never asked for payment. So you need to make sure he understands you don't consent and you do expect payment. He is being entertained. If you were to go into a strip club where they have fetish, you can peep, but you have to pay for that. And it's in a club where the other person is consenting to what you're doing. So Mr. Perry was sent this summer a letter, certified mail, this forged marriage license that you're floating around is forged. I've never signed it. There was no ceremony. I've never agreed to any such thing. I won't even take your phone calls. I've sued you 3-4 times. The first time I didn't ask for money. I just said, Judge, make him leave me alone. I've asked 11 times for a protective order, and he goes in ex parte, has everything thrown out, and does things like take my mail. So if there's a court response required, I don't get it in time. He's done that over and over and over and over. Mr. Perry, you're taking things that do not belong to you, sir. You're caught this time, aren't you? So the thing was, she didn't make it down to the courthouse yesterday, or what? Whatever you've done, I haven't checked the docket yet, but I'll be checking it later. Whatever was in that envelope, all I've heard is the 2 conversations. She didn't make it to the courthouse yesterday. No, I didn't. And number 2, we told them just not to seal the envelope and maybe it just falls out. And it did. There's nothing in that envelope. There was 2 return receipt requested cards. That's it. So they did what you said, and it's illegal. And you're caught. My guys are dealing with it, sir. And the more you bother me, the more of these we get. And you're not seeing the correlation. When you bother me, you get told on. And that started with the McNamara email of 2015. And now we've got a, well, I told you so. And we've got malicious aforethought, criminal intent. We've got you. You're in a lot of trouble. And you're not getting that, are you? You're very mentally slow. A 6-year-old could have figured out the correlation the 3rd time it happened. There's all this right here. All of this right here, Mr. Perry. So, and I guess they got my old Toyota Camry, digging through that. So that's duly noted for the record as well. Mr. Perry, you're caught. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get caught, sir. You're being investigated. Why don't you get that? And the more you bother me and the more hardship you cause for me, and they're with Mike too, and the longer he sits in jail for what you did, the harder they go at you. You're a rejected failure. Men of power have women throwing themselves at them. They have to shoo the women away, and you can't get a date, a real one. You sit there in pretend land, imposing that on everybody else, violating the rights and wishes of other people. Our witness tells us he gets these women fired. He makes sure they can't find another job. Then they lose their home. Then he has the ex take the kids away. He's a sexual sadist. As long as I've known him, he does this. And I'm glad somebody's finally putting a stop to it, because I'm sick and tired of sleeping with one eye opened. Worried that he's going to come, kill me. Because he told me about it, wanting money. I did send Mr. Perry a certified letter asking him to get rid of the fucking marriage, whatever that is, annul it. I want a divorce and half of everything you own if it has to go through a divorce process. I didn't sign anything. It's called marriage fraud. There was no ceremony. I won't have anything to do with some weirdo like you. There's no way. And a cop killer. There's no way. Apply the but-for standard. But for Mr. Perry doing all this crap to me, I wouldn't have to do these podcasts, talk about it, document it. It's for court. It is for court. Apply the reasonable, prudent individual standard. What would any reasonable, prudent individual do when you got some weirdo doing this shit to you all day? Get out of my mail. I've got 2 cards, financial cards, that I was supposed to have gotten and didn't because you stole them. My guys know all about that. They heard you talking about it. One of them's been sent out 4 times. Mr. Perry, get out of my mail. Mail fraud. You're in a lot of trouble. Marriage fraud. You really like fraud upon a court. Mike's trial was fraud. Because you can't beat a guy to death when you're knocked out drugged, sleeping, and end up with not a mark on you, can you? I told everybody he was drugged before it ever hit the docket. It wasn't public yet because my guys went over and checked into it. Didn't look right. I just filed a vandalism report after Mr. Perry was threatening my car specifically. Somebody got in my car. I filed a report with Manford. 6 days later, Chief Miller's dead. And Mike's accused. You can't beat somebody to death when you're sleeping. So who did that? You had the motive. You never stood up and said, it's clear he didn't do it. He's got nothing on him that looks like he was even in a fight, much less a deadly beatdown. He'd have bruised hands. He'd have maybe broken fingers. Chief Miller was beat bad to death. He died. Mr. Perry, you need to shut the fuck up. No one cares what you think. You were not asked. No one cares what you think, sir. You were not asked. You were told, get out of my life. Get out of it. Then my guys won't have a fucking thing to do. They were talking last night. We've never had one of our victims do this before. Mr. Perry was sent a certified letter. You don't have consent to peep. You don't have consent to use my body, my property, and my utilities for your entertainment, Mr. Perry. Cease and desist. He ignored it. You're being billed $1,000 a day for doing that to me, and plus $2,000 a day for doing it without my consent. Restitution, Mr. Perry. They're building a case so high, you're not going to get out of it, and there will be restitution. And all this stuff right now we're doing for court is also added to your criminal case. Why wouldn't it be? Harassment of my witness. The act is fraud upon a court. The act is grand larceny with intent to coerce her. All you had to do was leave me the fuck alone. No one asked you what you think, sir. You were told to leave me the fuck alone. Get a life, bizarre bore. Mr. Perry, get a fucking life. Get out of mine. You're never going to get a date with me. There's no way I would go out on a date with some weirdo like you. There's no way. A criminal. You make my stomach turn. You make everybody's stomach turn. And the more you bother me and the more you cause a problem for me, the more pissed off we all get. My guys get it. And they have power. You don't have power. If they can get what you just said, they got a lot of power. You got the Fabian puzzle to me in jail. They have power, sir. You're a little podunk nothing. You might as well be a dog catcher. You don't do anything but sit around and watch women in their house all day long. And you don't have an alibi to prove that wrong. You're doing exactly what we say you're doing. Get out of my mail. Get the hell out of my mail. This can be remedied because of what you did. We said, get the fuck out of my house. You don't have permission to peep. You don't have permission to hack. You don't have permission to contact me or my family at all. Not in any form, sir. When you do, you piss us off and we get more recordings. You piss a lot of good people off. Your conduct is very offensive. Far, far outside social norm. It's criminal deviant. These guys were talking. We've never had a victim do this. Send us a bill. Most don't even know they're being watched. Somehow she found out she's being watched. Send us a bill. That's because Mr. Perry was gonna the fear was that he would assert there's no crime. She consents and she never asked for money. Well, I have though, and I did not consent, and I have asked for money. Certified letter. You ignored it, and you're still peeping. You're still making unwanted contact with me. You're still causing problems and drama and hardship. Mike's still in jail, so we get more. We just told them not to seal the envelope. Maybe it'll fall out. And it did. Didn't it? You got my Camry? What do you need my Camry for? I haven't had that car for well over a year. Leave me the fuck alone, weirdo. You're making everybody want to throw up. Everyone is sick and tired of you. Your delusion, icked and slimed, and it's nasty and it smells bad. It's slimed all over me every day, 24/7. And everybody's mad at you. Everybody's sick and tired of y'all. And so you got caught. Nope. Get out of my phone. What did I just say? He did that. I did not do that. He's cloned my phone. So, like, if the police did a check on my phone, nothing's going to show up. What'll show up is in his phone. How pathetic that you hack and peep and you think that's a date. Men of power can get a date, a real one. They have a real love life. They have a woman that wants them, and you don't have that. You're rejected, and you're a failure. And you're caught this time. And you just go right back at it. When you touch a stove and your hand gets burned, then you ought to have the good sense to not touch the stove anymore. Your hand is fucking falling off your arm. And you just go right back at it, and everybody's going, what in the fuck is he trying to prove? Doing this shit? What is he trying to prove? Trying to fly too close to the sun, and he gets burned and caught every time. Cannot swim in the deep end. Fail after fail after fail. You're pissing everybody off. And so we got more, Mr. Perry. Cause and effect. You're not all there, are you? You're not. Our shrink thinks you're severely mentally retarded and maybe have Alzheimer's. Maybe you all are. We're not seeing anything different. We're not seeing anything at all that indicates she's wrong at all. Or the witness. We're seeing you prove all that right. Day after day after day after day. Get the fuck out of my phone. Get the fuck out of my life. Get the hell out of my house. And don't contact me again. And please understand, for the record, note it down, write it down. When you cause a problem for me, when you cause a hardship for me, when you cause a loss for me, and that means loss of privacy, Mr. Perry. When you contact me in any form at all, you piss off all the wrong people, and then we get what you just said. We told them, don't seal the envelope. Maybe it'll just fall out. Did she not make it down to the courthouse yesterday? My Camry, you got my Camry. Keep the Camry. I sold the Camry long ago. What in the fuck is your problem? That you're stupid and you keep doing the same thing every day that gets you the same results. Told on and told on and told. That's what all this is, Mr. Perry. Every time you got caught, over and over, that's of last night. See? You provoke, you piss everybody off. You provoke, you piss everybody off. This was the harassment email. I'm going to harass the hell out of her like steal her mail. Then when she complains about it, I'll say she's harassing me. And I guess Mr. Powell was talking to somebody and he goes, can she just say whatever? Can she just make crap up? And the guy goes, well, she can, but the only thing is you keep doing what she says. You did this twice. We're building a criminal case against you, Mr. Perry, using what you do in civil court that's illegal. Everybody else can just go to, this goes back to November 14th, 2017. Look how long you've been recorded talking about this harassment thing, and you did it twice in civil court. You made that claim twice. You're something. You're not all there. I mean, it is inappropriate to contact a witness in a murder trial or any trial. And you did it. I know you've been subpoenaed. But I'm going to contact you anyway and break the law. I want to know how you knew Mike Neely was drugged. Or how he was, coaxed to Pensacola. You like coercing people into certain places so you can do some harm. Duly noted for the record. Duly noted, Mr. Perry, for the record. And who are the other victims? You want to know who's talking? I'm like, no habla English. Get out of my face with your weirdo. Ruining kids' lives. Boy, that tends to piss people off. Ruining kids' lives. We told them not to seal the envelope. Maybe it'll just fall out. And they didn't. Get your fucking hands out of my mail. Get your fucking nasty skank hands out of my wallet. Get your skank butt out of my face with your cameras. You do owe me money. You're not going to go into court and claim the defense that I consented and didn't ask for money. See, it's not a crime if he does that. It is a crime. It's a seriously disgusting one. Using my body, my home, my property, my utilities for a profit and for entertainment. You're deriving pleasure and entertainment illegally. It is disgusting. And so you get told on and told on and told on more than ever in your weirdo life. You're pathetic. You're absolutely pathetic, sir. This is the McNamara email, and we think you don't even understand what that means. You have no idea what that means. The significance of it. None of you do. You're not getting it. I said don't contact me, Charles. Don't fucking contact me. It pisses me off. When you pester me, your guy said, when he pesters her and takes her money, things don't go well for us. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. Like you got a bill for the first time, didn't you? Are you all mentally retarded? Because if one guy is, the rest of his partners, his co-conspirators, you'd think would have the good sense to make him stop by now. And yet you don't. And so you got recorded again. We told them just don't seal that envelope. Maybe it'll just fall out. Get out of my mail, weirdo. You embarrassed the hell out of me because you're weirdo. And then this is documenting the stalking happened in Lubbock. I'm telling them, watch Perry on his phone. And then you'll catch him hacking and peeping. Sits around on his fat, lazy ass perverting around all day. Should be seeing constituents. Should be campaigning. Should be making a positive difference in the world. Should be seen with his family. And he's not. We hear he's in Oklahoma more than he's in Lubbock. Yeah, okay. I didn't tell him why. I wanted them to just catch him. My guys did catch you, Mr. Perry. There's things building for surveillance. They can stand behind you. Film me on their phone. They have. You're in a lot of trouble, sir. You're not getting it. When you touch the stove, you burn your hand. Your hand is fucking falling off your arm. And we're all wondering, what the fuck is he trying to prove? More than ever in your life, your crime is caught, all of you. And you just go right back at it. Cause and effect. When you contact me, I hate it. Boy, it makes me sick at my stomach. When you peep and hack and invade my privacy and do things like take my mail and try to interfere with court processes, you're going to be charged with a crime. Get out of my fucking life. We get more recordings, and they're not going to be used for party entertainment, sir. They're not. That's not what they're doing this for. They are for court, and you cannot now use the defense. There's no crime. She consented and didn't ask for money, because that you were long ago. You were told to stop. Repeatedly. Stop. Breaking the law. Repeatedly. Who the fuck do you think you are? You can't ask me who told on you. He types it right over my typing. He used to do auto-suggest. He used to use that. Now he just types it right over my typing because I turned auto-suggest off. Get the fuck out of my phone. Get the fuck out of my life. Get the fuck off me. You were told to stop, and you were sent a bill. And you do owe the money. And the longer I'm broke, and the longer Mike's in jail, and I'm not being broke just to be broke. I'm broke because you made me broke. You're the cause of it. You're the cause of it, sir. And the longer you peep and hack and evade my privacy and use my body and my property and my utilities against my will for entertainment and for profit, the more of these recordings we get. You cause a problem for me, my guys cause 20 for you. Cause and effect, dumbass. Don't ask me who told. You just pissed off all the wrong people. Look at the dates on these. I don't want a scandal. I just want the weirdo to leave me alone. So if you'd left me alone, there wouldn't be a scandal. There wouldn't be a cover-up you need now that you don't have. Your crime is more uncovered than it's ever been in your life. The McNamara email was describing Mr. Perry's intent to arrange a false arrest, which he did. These bond conditions came from that. Mr. Perry agreed to leave me the fuck alone because they wanted me to lie. And I said, I'm not lying for that weirdo. I'm not lying for him. You gotta be kidding me. The nerve that you would even ask me that. How dare you? How fucking dare you? I'm not lying for you. I'll stay quiet under one condition. Mr. Perry never fucking contacts me again. And so they did that. It says it right here. He can't contact me. Charles Perry admitted to stalking and agreed to stop. Otherwise, why is his name in those bond conditions? I sued him for breach of contract. You can't be held to a contract if you're in jail and under duress. He wasn't. He can. But Mr. Powell called the judge and had it dismissed on res judicata before there was even a trial or a hearing. There has to be a fair trial and a fair hearing on the issue at hand before the court for there to be res judicata. Mr. Powell, nobody's made the decision as to whether or not this constitutes a contract. I assert that it does. I assert that he agreed to leave me the fuck alone. You shouldn't have to sue somebody and scream and holler and yell at some ugly piece of shit guy to make him leave you alone. And yet I've had to 11 times ask for a judge to make him leave me the fuck alone. How pathetic. You're fucking pathetic. The charges were filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job as a senator. I had lived in Texas for a year and a half. You don't legislate in Oklahoma, and by law you knew you had to file a police report because my first protective order was denied because I didn't bring it to court, and you knew that. And there is no evidence of a political vendetta. And by the way, Mr. Powell, you didn't preserve my evidence that I was being poisoned or the video. I filed the police report on the 21st. You had me arrested on the 29th. There was no police determination made. I didn't even talk to a cop. You obstructed justice and destroyed my evidence. That is evidence in and of itself. By law, objective information like a blood test to rule out or confirm poison, Mr. Powell, has to be collected properly. And it wasn't because you, by physical force, prevented and delayed me from talking to a cop. And I also didn't sit down and go, here's the video evidence of what happened that night. This is what happened. That didn't happen either. And you'd failed to preserve the evidence. It's a Brady violation. Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 1512 and 1513. You have violated it and violated it and violated it and violated it and violated it. And I assert my right to equal protection of those laws and domestic violence laws and stalking, harassment, voyeurism, all of those laws, Mr. Perry. Who the fuck do you think you are? So when you violate me, we get more recordings of you, and those recordings aren't being collected to play as a party entertainment. They are for court. Everything you do illegally in the civil court process, that's going to be added, dumbass. You're the gift that keeps on giving. This was the dismissal, Mr. Powell. Don't go around telling people there was no false arrest. Yeah. This is my subpoena from Officer Neely. Once I got that, my life got turned upside down, which wouldn't have happened had you guys not done that murder, because you had 3 choices in how to react to my assertion that you did that murder. Because nobody can beat somebody to death while they're sleeping. I did say he was drugged before it hit the docket. It wasn't public. And you can't do it with not a mark on you. So you had 3 choices. Ignore me and just don't dignify it with a response at all. Or say, yeah, she's right. The evidence does not support the fact that Neely did this. We back the blue. We support police. So we don't want that suspicion on us. Let's find out who did it. Or do what you did. Witness tamper, witness tamper, witness tamper, witness tamper. Acts showing consciousness of guilt. Now you can't assert the insanity defense. You can't assert that, and you can't assert the defense that there's no crime. She consented to the cameras, and she didn't ask for money. Because I did, and I didn't. I didn't consent, and I did ask for money. Repeatedly. Cease and desist, Mr. Perry. You sick son of a bitch. The more you bother me, the more you get told on. I'll have her car towed and sold before she figures out it's not legal. Procurement of a piece of property, Mr. Perry. Do the fraud upon a court. That makes 1 crime 2. Do what you do. You're something. This is what was going on out in Manford. Black SUV. People pulling up like right there, taking pictures of me. Mr. Robertson had his employees staying right next to me at this place. Right fucking next to me. I had one thing after another go wrong with my car. And then a brick thrown at me. The night the brick was thrown at me, had we known about it, I wouldn't have gone to work. Had we known what you were going to do to Lucky Miller, we would have told him. One of the guys that knew, my guys jumped all over him. He goes, why didn't you tell us? He goes, listen, everybody kept saying Cynthia's crazy. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want them to say that about me, and he kept getting caught. So I didn't think they were really going to do it. She just filed that report. I didn't think they were really going to do it. So I'm sorry. Anytime I tell somebody they suspect you're leaking, just keep in mind, there's a dead Lucky and an almost dead framed Mike. You need to take precaution. It's going to be harder for him to kill somebody and get away with it because I'm saying that. I'm saying it right now. You're not going to kill again, Mr. Perry. And you're not getting away with it now. Never again can you kill somebody and nobody suspects you. You just moved yourself top of the list because you fucked with me. You don't know who I am, and you don't know who I know. You've asked me if I'm a cop. You've had 2 or 3 people ask me if I'm a cop. You know what? I don't have to say anything about that, do I? I'm a victim. Get your skank ass off me. You make me feel raped. And you don't have my consent. And whatever forgery, you better get something done about that today. Annul it, or I want a divorce and half of everything you own. And I also want to know, does Jackie know her husband thinks he has 2 wives? Don't you dare assert any spousal anything. And I've heard you have. You don't have the right to do that, sir. You have no place in my life. You're a stalker, and that's it. And you're a kook one. You're a kook as they get. So the night that they threw the brick at that could have hit me in the head, by the way, and killed me. Perry had his guy sitting right here on the other side, on the right-hand side, calling down the road, tell him when I was coming out. Well, I saw his guy sitting there. I know who his guys are. They're all over me all the fucking time. So I went out to the left, which delayed my trip about 2 minutes. So the brick hit the freeway, bounced up, and split the engine in 2. Could have been my head. Totaled my car. Then I got the Toyota Camry. Then he vandalized that. He always gets a key to my car. And that's when I called Manford Police. 6 days later, the chief is deceased. And Mike Neely's falsely accused of a murder he could not possibly have done. These are the laws in the state of Oklahoma. I assert my right to equal protection. You do not get to do gender bias or discriminate against me. It's the law. I have constitutional rights. I shouldn't have to assert them, should I? You know, TPD, if you had prosecuted the obstruction of justice and the destruction of my evidence, Lucky Miller might be alive right now. The fatality rate of officers, of the lawmen who respond to domestic violence calls is very high. We have an officer down, and we have one down in need of an assist. Lucky Miller died in the line of duty, not a drunk brawl. He died in the line of duty trying to protect me, and I live with that every day. Had I not fucking called him, I have every right to call police and report something. And I said, if you get to a determination and it comes to light that they did this, because it could be a random guy, my guess is it's them. They got a key. They do to every car I have without my consent, illegally. So my guess it's them. But I can't say that for sure. We're all in a lawsuit right now. If you determine it was them, I got to get a protective order, and I have to file a police report. And they know that. They didn't get a chance to look, did they? What does that say? The last sentence. You must file a complaint with police. I follow the laws in the state where I live. He has me arrested, alleging a crime in the state where he lives, where I haven't been. Carrying out the threat made in the McNamara email months beforehand. Somebody that you told in Lubbock was so disturbed by what you were telling them that you were going to do to me, they reported you, sir. You disturb people. You make people sick at their stomach and very creeped out and uncomfortable. And so it's not that hard to get information. We told them to not seal the envelope. Maybe it'll just fall out. Duly noted for the record. duly noted for the record. 2 cards, financial bank cards, I've not gotten because you intercepted it. One of them has been sent off 4 fucking times. How pathetic. You enjoy taking things that do not belong to you. Don't covet. Guess what? God hasn't mocked you, reaped you sow. You've been caught more than ever in your life when you guys fuck with me. We've never had one of these women figure out they were even being watched. That it was us doing this, making them not get a job, and all this shit happens to them. All of a sudden, their life goes to shit. Perfectly great life. Never had one figure out it was us, and then bill us. First time that's happened. The more he pesters her, the more he takes her money, things don't go well for us. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. Your guy said that. I don't know who these guys are. I think right now they're just flicking at us. I think they could stand up at any moment and crush us all, and I don't want to be anywhere near Perry when that happens. Your guy said that. I'm quoting your guy. And yet you pester, and you take, and you cause a problem every fucking day, and then we quote you, and then you want to know who told. Hand on the hot stove getting burned. Your hand is falling off your arm, and you're still touching the stove, and we're going, what's he trying to prove with this? What is he fucking trying to prove with this? There's Mike Neely. Point out for me on Mike Neely where it looks like he was in a fight. Look at her son. He was in a scuffle. He got hit 3-4 times. Everybody went home. Nobody was dead. He didn't hit the other guy. The other guy hit him. He said, I was holding the beer. It didn't even slosh out. Look at his face all cut up and bruised. Look at Mike Neely. Nothing on him. The arrest report says he had nothing on him. A red swollen right hand, which is red and swollen because, as you can see, it's got an IV in it. There's a needle in it. But it certainly doesn't look bruised and broken fingers and all that shit that you would see had he been in a fight that killed the other guy. He was found unconscious, in respiratory distress, dying. Medical people, first responders, determined after examining him with their professional opinion that he was drugged and needed Narcan, so they gave him Narcan. And he wasn't tested until he got to the hospital after the Narcan already brought him back. They said he came to. He responded. It was the right diagnosis and the right treatment. Now it's altered his chemical composition of his body, his blood. So now it's different than had they taken the blood right off the bat. Mike and I both did not get the accurate blood test. I didn't get one at all. Forensic inspection of blood and hair to determine what is causing this person to be sick. Who gave them that shit that made him sick? Because Lucky didn't give Mike opioids. Mike didn't have opioids. Someone was in that room and gave that to them and then beat the chief. The argument was over, what'd you give Mike? Stop it was to the offender, Mike. Because there was no visual context to that utterance, was there? There's no cameras in the hallways of that hotel. Lucky didn't open the door wide enough for the guy to see anything but his face. He was concealing whoever else was in that room. He didn't need to conceal Mike. Mike's the other registered guest. Lucky was laying nice and neat in a little itty-bitty confined space. Someone put him there, because if you're in a fight, you're going to fall, slumped over. Somebody was standing behind him when he opened that door and told him, get rid of John, who was checking on a noise complaint. He did. Immediately, he's subdued. I'd like to see the autopsy photos. Everyone knows that. I bet you in a 5 seconds everybody knows that. That's why I haven't seen him. Here's the arrest report, the last paragraph. He had a red swollen right hand, nothing else. And a busted nose and lip from a second event after. They pulled him off Lucky, threw him face first into the floor, busted his nose and lip. Had nothing to do with the deadly fight. And had you not done this murder, you would have said, we don't want to be suspected. Let's find out who did. Instead, you tamper with me. You coerce me. We just need her to apologize. For what? Fighting your crime like nobody else has in your life? Successfully? We don't want you in jail. We're sick and tired of you. Everybody's tired of you, Mr. Perry. You're a burden and an imposition. You're not getting what I don't tell you who leaks are, because I'm not told that. Even if I was, why would it help you? Because once you're gone, I won't be peeped on anymore. I'll have my privacy back. My family won't be threatened anymore. You won't be around to harass me and pester and bother and pester and pester and bother and make unwanted contact and impose and make me feel raped, and I'll never be broke again. So I have zero motivation to help you. Even if I knew that information. You're not getting it, Slow. You're not getting it, Mr. Slow. It's embarrassing. So there's Mike. You can see there's no way he could have been in a fight. Look at the difference. Look at my kid. He Snapchatted that. Look at him. You don't see anything like that here. And not only that, point out for me in the arrest report where there's injuries on him that look like he was in a fight. He's sitting in prison right now. He's lost 3 years with his family, his reputation. And you wouldn't let me testify for him. He'd be home right now. I'm an outcome changer. People are starting to notice there's too many hearings where she's not there. She's an outcome changer, and he knows that. That is perjury. Concealment of a material fact from the deciding making body. And you do that all the time. So, you're taking my mail now, huh? This is when I told the Florida State's attorney he was drugged. He didn't do it. And, by the way, not tested until he got to the hospital. How did I know that, Mr. Perry? See? He was given Narcan for opioid overdose, not treated for being beat up in a fight. How dare you? I come from police. I come from police. You're the enemy. You're the enemy. There's no fucking way I wouldn't go anywhere with you. You embarrass me. You embarrass the hell out of me. I'm proud to be the one that has done something you guys have not seen before. Proud to be that person. This right here, you spoofed Lisa. Identity theft. Then when I called him on it, he changed the name on that account. Like, oh, nobody will suspect a thing. Look at that. Did he really just say he doesn't care what I want? Yep, that's what they do. Look at this. He should be in jail. Who's he buying over here? You know how many reporters have asked that question? Who in Oklahoma cops did he buy that he's not in jail right now? Because even though there might be a bigger investigation going on, it would be wrapped up sooner if Tulsa police had got the 5. It's a lot easier to go after 5 than it is a lot more than that, right? You don't think people notice something's a little off? See, you guys think everybody's as dumb as you are. They won't figure it out. But they are. See, it makes people mad when somebody causes a harm and an injury. It makes them even more angry when it looks like he got away with it. Look at OJ. Nicole was telling everybody, he's even turning my family against me. He's showing up where I am. He's stalking me and he's beating the fuck out of me. He's gonna kill me. And then he did. And then he got away with it. Kinda. And it outraged people that he got, outraged people that he got away with that. Just almost cut her head off her body. And I'll tell you one thing that really aggravated me. It hurt me. It hurt me deeply. I'm watching the show Made in America. Look at this. He's telling me, I don't know this guy. He just walked into my club. These guys come where I am. Pinto. He'll give you $5,000 if you'll be creeped out by him for a couple hours. I'm like, nope, What they did that night, they used to do this a lot. They made sure I didn't sell anything all night long. They knew I had bills to pay. They hacked me. They see all the bills I need to pay. They have a meeting every morning about how much money's in my checking account, what bills I have due, what can we do today to fuck her up so she can't pay them. Every fucking day you're recorded. Your little meeting. Wiretap orders, Perry. Sometimes it is a leak, sometimes it's not a leak. But whoever talked to Perry on the phone, Perry, Powell, Josh, Joe, Matt, you're going to get recorded too. Wiretap orders, bitch. Sealed. It's a need to know. It's a need to know. So, what they would do is run off all my customers, so I didn't make money all fucking night long. And then they send Pinto in at the very end of the night when they think I'm going to be nice and desperate. Grand larceny with intent to coerce is going to be the charge. I'm sorry, the act. The charge will probably be witness tampering. Do what you do. You're the gift that keeps on giving. It is so easy. It is not even fair. By now, you should get the cause and effect. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you get told on. All you had to do is leave me alone. Yep. So here's this guy telling me, I know, I watch him behind the scenes. I signed an NDA. See? I signed a letter of discretion. I didn't know this guy. He said he was a retired DEA agent, currently firearms instructor to law enforcement. I started asking him, do you know this guy that works for the FBI? No. You're a firearms instructor for law enforcement, the feds too? Yep. Marshal's office, all of them. Do you know this guy that works for the United States Marshal's office? No. And you instruct him in firearms? Yeah. I don't know. Sounds a little fishy. You should know at least one of those guys. Yeah. Didn't know any of them. So I don't know what the hell he does. And he's Native American, so this, under McGirt, is federal. This crime right here, federal. Right? Native Americans can't be charged in state court anymore, at least right now. I think that's still up for debate in the Supreme Court, but as of right now, he's federal responsibility. United States Marshals. That's their job. The FBI, right? Okay. He said he didn't know any of the guys in the U.S. Marshal's office, even though he trains them in firearms instructions. Oh, gosh, you guys think I'm stupid or something. This right here, we're talking to Dave in December 2015 about something's in my drink. Something's in my drink. What are you guys giving me? Something's in my drink. Don't grab my crotch. I'm going to grab it anyway, even though you just asked me not to. Yep. Let your life fade away. This right here. I've watched behind the scenes. I said something to him verbally. And I was thinking, shit, I should have recorded that. Let me see if I can get him texting me about it. So I texted him this, and sure as shit, he did text me about it. Right here. Maybe it's worth the risk to have the suspicion that we saw with Gary Condit and Chandra Levy. If he kills you, maybe it's just worth that risk. That's what he said. That's what he had said verbally. Wouldn't that scare the shit out of you? He might murder you, and he might be suspected like we saw with Gary Condit and Chandra Levy, and it may not matter. That's what he said. Like, wow. So I texted him the next day, hoping I can get him to continue that conversation, because I was like, I should have fucking recorded him like I did Pinto. I think what happened is it was not safe. I couldn't see the way it worked with Pinto is I was standing up at the bar, so I had a way to record Pinto where he couldn't see it. And if something went wrong, my manager was right across the bar. And the situation with Mickey was different. I think there was not a way to do it where he could, where he wouldn't see it. I think that's why I didn't record him. But I did get him texting about it again the next day. He said the exact same thing to me in a text that he had said verbally. I'm good at what I do, Mr. Perry. This was from Dave. Are you giving me arsenic and phenobarbital? And he's like, yeah. Should have been tested. That's objective data, not subjective. I'm either being poisoned or I'm not. I'm either being poisoned with arsenic and phenobarbital, or I'm not. Maybe it's something else. Thing is, I never got to be tested. Mr. Powell didn't preserve my evidence. That means he had no intention to go into trial. If you're holding someone detained with no intention to go into trial, not collecting any evidence, not preserving anything, and now our evidence is destroyed, that is illegal detainment as it gets. That is false imprisonment as it gets. You dismissed in my favor. Dr. Russell said it's a stalking escalation. Everybody can see that. I recorded her saying that. She wrote a letter for me later. She's in fear for her family and herself at what Mr. Perry's going to do to her next. He made a threat specifically to arrest her or kill her, and then he tried to do both. So how much more terrifying are subsequent threats? He already carried one out, or tried to. Yep. This went to the U.S. Attorney after those two police officers at Sensation said, he told us he wanted us to just find a way to arrest you. We told him no, but that doesn't mean he won't find somebody who will. Just find something. He wants to smear you because you know too much. He wants a lie. Watch yourself. So I wrote a letter to the U.S. Attorney and to Matt Powell. Matt Powell said he didn't know about my false arrest. He didn't know. He was sent a letter about it at the same time this guy was. The letter to Matt was attached to this letter right here. He's using law enforcement to harass me. Wow, okay, they got it. See? This was in March 2020. Somebody's hacked me. They're watching me put a tentative date for a 12/10/31, which we've got pending right now. That has a little something to do with, told them not to seal the envelope. I can still do it and tell them what you did. And don't think I won't. Don't think I won't. Why wouldn't I? You're impeding civil process, Mr. Perry. That's illegal. Interfering with my mail, intercepting mail, that is a federal crime. You're caught. You got recorded talking about it, what you did. Yeah. When you fuck with me, that's what happens. You get your hand burned. I'm a hot stove. We don't know what the hell you think you're trying to... We don't know what the fuck you're trying to prove here. When you fuck with me, you get told on. That's the only thing you get. When you fuck with me, Mr. Perry, you get told on. When you fuck with me, Mr. Perry, you get told on, and then you want to know who told. And I've repeatedly told you, I'm not giving that information. It's none of your business. You're dangerous. No one's going to tell you that, weirdo. You are to cease and desist right now. No one cares what you think. You are not asked. You are to stop peeping. You are to stop hacking. You are to stop contacting me in any form at all. You are to stop contacting my family in any form at all. Or when you continue to do it anyway and ignore my rights and wishes, then we get more recordings of you, bitch. You piss everybody off. You're going to prison, sir. You're not getting it. We're not going to get all these recordings to play at a party for entertainment. It's being used in court, sir. Criminal case. You're very mentally slow. It's very aggravating to have to deal with it. Are all of you? Because there's a bunch of you guys in this deal. Are all of you that stupid? That you can't get the cause and effect by now? I don't have any words for that. It's so easy, it's not even fair. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. So, I guess the judge said, well, then I have to find a better thing to deny her than because it's frowned upon. Because she did do a denial on that reason. And our guys were like, oh my God. Clearly there's a prosecutor looking into this, Mr. Perry. If he's telling me, if you don't consent to being peeped on and you expect payment, you need to tell him. So he can't assert the defense. There's not a crime here. She consented and she didn't expect payment. You've been told I do expect payment and I don't consent. Repeatedly. Repeatedly. So you can't assert that defense and say, well, there's no crime. There is a crime. It's a sick one. You're a sick motherfucker. You make everybody uncomfortable and disturbed. And so you get told on, Perry. And I'm not told who your leaks are. And you keep asking me, and I've never answered that question in years that you've asked me every fucking day. Is it this person? Is it that person? Is it that guy? Is it this guy? Most of those people I don't even know. Never met them. Last night it was Al and Judy. I haven't talked to Judy since 2013 when I left Lubbock. What does she know that you're worried she told me? This Al person. Maybe I know him. Maybe I don't. Maybe I gave him a lap dance. I gave some guys lap dances named Al. I gave some guys lap dances named Ty. I gave some guys lap dances named Jim. More than one. Which one? Do I know this person? These people, what do they know? What'd you tell them that they know that you're worried they leaked? I don't go to lunch with anyone named Al. I don't talk to anybody on the phone with anybody named Al. So how is it this person would tell me? God, I mean, come on with this. This was a dated January 4th, 2016. A false arrest and my death isn't going to prove he's not stalking me. It's going to prove he is. You're not all there, are you? You can talk to police on the phone, Mr. Perry. You peep on me, you ought to know that. Secured phone. You watch me. They're asking, what stores did she go today? They think there's secret messages coming through the store. Again, secured phone. You can talk to police on the phone, sir. You know that. You sit there and watch me. Don't you? Lucky asked me in the strip club. I didn't want to tell this person. I knew this wasn't Lisa. She already knows all this information from talking to her husband. She didn't need to ask me, does she? This was Charles Perry and Josh Person trying to find out what Lucky and I talked about the night he and Mike came in. When I walked up to them, Mike introduced himself and then went to the bathroom. I sat down next to Lucky. Lucky then introduced himself and then asked me about a forged marriage license and told me I told them to get their hands out of your wallet. I know they're taking your money. I'm out here looking into that. I know they're running off your customers. And I told them, cut that the fuck out. If you guys mugged her, 5 guys would beat the hell out of you and get her purse back. What's the difference? I'm not going to have people in my town inconvenienced because she can't pay her bills because you're taking her money. Stop. You want to get out of a lawsuit. We all know that. Stop that. Cut that the fuck out. See, when I'm broke, you piss everybody off. I shouldn't be broke. You know how many people have commented on that? She's too smart to be broke. He's getting her money. You're not fooling anybody. You think everybody's as dumb as you are. You can't tell cause and effect after this much. You fuck with me, you get told on. We told him just don't seal the envelope. Maybe it'll just fall out. They still, let's keep the Camry a little longer. Why? What do you need my Camry for? I haven't been in it in well over a year. Haven't had access to it. Haven't touched it. Haven't been anywhere near it in well over a year. So what scam is that going to be all about, huh? We'll wait and see. When I can say I did tell you, I told you so. I told you so. Over and over and over. You're not seeing how that hurts you? You guys are something. Hand is burned off. Your arm. You're still touching the stove. And we're all going, what in the fuck are they trying to prove? How stupid they are? I mean, I don't get this. So, yeah, they were asking me. Excuse me. Then I got called onto stage. And then Mike came back from the bathroom and they left. But he knew you were taking my money. He was mad about it and talked to me about it. He asked me if I signed a marriage license, and I said, hell no. Yeah, I didn't think that looked like your signature. Where's the wedding photos? Where's the ring? I mean, there's nothing to back that up. I don't want a ring. I don't want a wedding. You make me sick. There's no fucking way I would do that. I won't even take your phone call. There's never been a date. You've got an imaginary romance from peeping. You sit around watching TV like a 1-year-old little girl watching Frozen, pretending that's her life, pretending she's the girl in that movie. You're weirdo. You're a grown-ass man. You gotta know how to act right. 1-year-old little girl can do what you do. That's not power. That's pathetic. I get that in jail. What else can they get to me in jail, Perry? It's Fabian's name right there. I just told Dave. There's the whole Fabian. Why don't you like Charles Perry? Because he's a weirdo. He's cruel. He's a monster. What is there to like? And there's that whole Fabian thing. Oh, Fabian doesn't want you. Well, I got to hear that from him. You're not his spokesperson. He's had plenty of chances to tell me that, and he has never told me that. You know what he told me? I think you deserve better than to spend the rest of your life being harassed by this guy. Fight him. That's what he said. Not, I don't want you. He had plenty of chances to say that, and he never said it. Let me tell you something. When some weirdo hits on you, like you can see Mr. Perry does to me, initially women can do things like make excuse. I'm seeing somebody. Whether you're seeing somebody or not doesn't matter. That's what you say to blow them off. I'm seeing somebody. I have a boyfriend. And then that's kind of to not hurt their feelings. If they keep pressing, then you might say something like, look, I just don't like you. If they keep pressing, then you say that. Otherwise, you make excuses. I got somebody already. But thanks. You do things to try to not hurt feelings at first when you reject a guy. Well, guys do the same thing. And Fabian never said anything like that. Nothing. So I'm telling Dave, I got to hear it from him. Dave, you do not speak for him. He's a grown man. He's never said that to me, ever. Oh, well, he just wants to fuck you. Okay, well, let us fucking be done with it. You guys are butting in, causing a problem here that doesn't need to be. And then he goes, actually, he and Charles fought over you for months. I go, well, listen, there's no fight. It's not a decision to be made between those two. It's my choice who I want. And it'll never be Charles. He's weird and cruel. He's creepy. Fabian wins that one. Fabian won my heart, not Charles. Charles is repulsive. He's fucked up, motherfucking fucked up dude. I won't ever have anything to do with him. I moved twice to get away from him. All he had to do is leave me alone. He's a serial killer, by the way. I've caught myself a serial killer, guys. Oh, shit. A serial fucking killer. So, my guys get this to me in jail, Perry. To let me know. Sometimes my guys just drop me into something and don't tell me and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck did you do that for? You didn't tell me? We need you to react real. We need you to react real. That's done a lot. That's been done for a long time. It's not new. I've called myself a serial killer. That's what this guy says. For the first time, we're seeing things happen we've not seen before. Most of these women don't know they're being peeped on. They don't know we're the one doing all this shit to them, causing one problem after another problem after another problem. Not only did she know, she's billed us. Never had that happen before. She solved a murder we did. Oh, fuck. When you bother me, that's what happens. Listen to what I'm saying carefully, Perry. I don't care what you think. Didn't ask you. No one does. So they get me this puzzle. See, me, that's representing you, Perry. You're just a butt in. Not ever wanted. Just button in. Fabian intersects with hope. He made me hope again. Because you had ruined my life so badly. I was having a hard time hoping. My guys don't do what I like them to do. Believe me, you'd be in jail already. They have their own thing. I'm a part of it. But I don't get to make those kind of decisions or you'd have been gone a long time ago. They have their strategy. It's working. If you've seen things happen you've not seen before. But if it was my call, you'd have been in jail a long time ago. So there's some other people they're trying to get, and there's other victims they're trying to help. Or you'd have been in jail a long time ago, Perry, if it was up to me. They're letting me know. When I get back, they're telling me we had to get him on. We wanted him on the obstruction. We were hoping Tulsa police would do something. They didn't. We're very disappointed in them. Negligence led to the loss of life, TPD. I'm sorry that you did that. It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing that you did that. And now everybody wants to get me. You think that's going to cover this all up? We just need her to apologize. No, I don't think I will. I think I'll tell everybody you're threatening me, trying to coerce me, trying to force me to say and do things I don't want to, against my will. And you're caught. That is a crime. Witness tampering, coercion, sir, that's a crime. RICO violations, sir. You're in a lot of trouble. The more you bother me, the more trouble you get in. Because I have help. I can't do this by myself. There's no way. They got this to me in jail. Boo is a private joke between me and one of these cops helping me. And I've known them a lot longer than I knew Charles Perry. It represents the fear and the sadness he's causing every day, all day long. Boo is a private joke, Perry. It has nothing to do with you. No one cares what you think. You were not asked. You're a butt-in. You're a wannabe. Never the one wanted, ever. If you had power, you could get a date. Guys in power have women throwing themselves at them. Nobody wants to hold your hand. Nobody wants to be anywhere near you. You don't have anything real. You look pathetic. Do you know somebody told us? Charles goes around telling everybody that's his wife or his girlfriend. She won't have a thing to do with him. She's suing him. Shoot me if ever I make that much of a fool of myself. I don't even want to live if I'm acting like him. That delusional. I don't think that guy really meant it literally, Mr. Powell. People say things like that to make a point. You guys are something. You guys are something. Instead of selling my granddad's legacy, how about I kick your nuts off you? How about that? And then they all go, oh, she's threatening. No. It's just to make a point. Anybody with any brains at all knows that's not to be taken literally. Everybody else can make jokes like that. I'm going to high-five that guy in the face with a chair. There's not going to be a high-five in the face with a chair. It's not intended to be taken literally. You guys are something. You're slow mentally, and it's irritating the hell out of us. You can't understand things like that. It's not to be taken literally. It's just making a point. And you go into court and you go, she threatened me. No, I did not. I just made a comment like a bunch of I'm not going to be held to a different standard than everybody else. My friend Jason Moore and I used to say shit like that all the time. Bitch slap that guy. Doesn't mean anybody's going to go actually bitch slap the guy. It means he just irritated the hell out of me. That's what that means. It's not to be taken literally. And you're stupid if you can't figure that out on your own. But we've pretty much established that. You're not all there, are you? It's embarrassing. It's so fucking embarrassing. When you fuck with me, you guys get told on and told on and told on and told on. So this morning, the thing is I usually throw those envelopes away, but because that one wasn't sealed, I kept it. I've had it for like about 2 days now. I kept it. And then my guy this morning, listen to this. We told them just don't seal it. Maybe it'll fall out. He goes, take a picture right now. They did that on purpose. Well, of course we knew you did. But it's better if we can put it together with a recording, isn't it? For our court, is it not? Yeah, I think it is. See, we're very strategic in what we do. We've caught ourselves a serial killer. Never before in your lives have you been caught this much, and yet you go at me, and you go at me, and you go at me, and you get told on, and you go at me, and you get told on. And when he pesters her, when he takes her money, we've seen things happen we've not seen before. We don't know who these guys are. They're just flicking at us right now. Yep, we are. And I'm the Jenga piece, by the way. You push, you pull, you push, you pull. There's a Jenga piece mentioned in the McNamara email. You're getting awfully wobbly. You don't have my consent to contact me. You don't have my consent to invade my privacy. You don't have my consent to take my mail. You don't have consent to contact my family. You don't have consent to threaten me or coerce me or harass me. I want nothing to do with you, you sick son of a bitch. I'm happy to be the one. I come from 3 generations of law enforcement. I'm Chief Hall's granddaughter, sir. I take it very seriously when someone takes a life. I'm not going to go on a date with somebody like that. You're serial. Mary Beth. Sometimes goes by Beth. Dumped at a lake just outside Billings. Stripped naked. Burned her clothes in a campsite, you said. Look what I can do and get away with. You know those... I mean, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to get anybody hurt. This is gone on for a long time, and you need to stop. You're being stopped. Can you not control yourself, Mr. Perry? I don't think you can. You don't have power, and you don't have control. So, you've been told to cut it the fuck out. You don't have my consent. I will take care of this. And I can, because you intentionally caused a problem. Intentionally caused a problem. Malicious aforethought. Malicious aforethought. So, and whoever has my Camry, I haven't had that car. I sold it over a year ago. Haven't had it. Haven't had access to it. Unless you're looking in the trunk for whatever Mike and Lucky were looking at. It's still, I don't know what else happened to it since I've had it. Why, you know, haven't had it. I have not had access to it. I did tell, I'm not going to say who, but I did tell a police officer with TPD, you might want to get this car. It is a crime scene. Now you got a murdered cop. And I got no response. So that was right after Chief Miller was killed. I think I said, this might be related. You might want to get that car. Here's where it is. No, I still have the car. You might want to take a look at my car. I think it's a crime scene. Because Mike and Lucky were investigating my car. My Toyota Camry. So you might want to get it. And you might want to do your forensic whatever. And you might want to, or get them to, or something. Because I believe it's related. And that was before we knew Mike was drugged, I believe. If I remember right. But they were told, you might want to get the Camry and look at the trunk. Because something's wrong here. I don't know why the hell Mike would... Everybody's confused. The chief, the interim chief, now current chief in Manford, Ridley, and Ty Buttram, the mayor, we're all confused as to what the hell happened. These two got along great. They were best friends. Why? We don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. Why Mike would do this. They said it right then at the time, before anyone had time to coerce anything else out of them. It's all over the news.